projects in the shop, as you guys can see. We've had a lot of stuff going on lately. Would you say, Chris?
Oh yeah.
We're doing a lot at one time.
We are busy.
Lots of big plans, like always, obviously, but we're actually figuring out a way to take those plans and make them into something. Me, Chris, my dad, we're all actually trying to figure out how to just give you guys constant content, good stuff, not crap videos, just show you what we're doing every day. The trucks we're building, like this one, you guys haven't seen anything about yet. That's on me. Just a lot of stuff on my plate. I'm trying to figure out how to organize all that. So, as some of you may know, I posted a video on Instagram about a guy, possibly buying my truck and it being sold. He hasn't picked it up yet, so no, it's on a for sure thing, but he's supposed to be flying in Friday. Today's Wednesday, so we'll see if it actually goes through and happens. But anyways, I'll give you a rundown of what we just did to the truck. So, as everyone knows, the original OG 6.0 on the channel, baddest girl alive with the 2019 tailgate swap and bumper swap. This truck got a lot of notice from day one. He's got the thing stuck on him. I can't even focus. Chris put his toy on him. What dog?
Goose.
Around her leg. Okay, go get it. Anyways, this truck's got a ton of attention since day one. I absolutely have continued to change it. Bigger wheels and tires, bigger lift, lowered it down, 6-inch lifts, 8-inch lift, 3722s, 3724s, 3522s, just everything. 4024s, 4026s now. So this is like the end plan for this truck. If he doesn't buy it, I'm gonna list it for sale. Some of you guys might not like the price, but he has confirmed he's buying it at that price, so we'll see if that happens. If not, you guys will figure out what that price is. It's gonna get listed for that, and it's 100% worth that. So, just a couple things we did recently. Most of you have seen the tailgate panel already. The truck hasn't been on the channel a while, so I'm trying to kind of get everything. Obviously, I color matched the handles and all the plastics, the bumpers, front and rear. I did the mud flaps on the bottom red as well. Color matched those. I had done those white. I've got my Wesley Fabrication custom 5 to 10 inch tip with custom Sasquatch diesel overlays. If you guys can't see that. So that's done. Obviously I recolor matched the fender flares to body color. Most of you have seen that. Still got the same taillights in it. I like those a lot. It is now sitting on a 10 inch again for the second time. It's on 4026s. They're 26 by 14 fully forged Axe AF6s. They have the fully floating billet center caps. I had to ball out on those, absolutely had to. Obviously we got Fox 2.0 shocks in the rear. I just swapped the gears out for this guy since it's on 40s now. I want it to be geared correctly because he's supposed to be driving it back to Colorado. So it's got brand new 456 gears in it, front and rear. I did just paint the traction bars, the traction bar mounts, the front 4-link arms, and the coil springs in the front as well, along with the side of the headache rack to match it. The steps are rematched. And we obviously did the gears in the front as well at the same time. So we got all that done. Still got the Harley interior swap in it that's had for 2.5 years. We did go with a different headlight. Like these a lot. They've got the LED ring on them. They're kind of smoked with the clear lenses. Everything's LED in there. There's no amber bulbs or anything in there. It's all white. I got this grill on there. You guys have seen this grill most likely. Cowl hood. I did just do the cowl and the windshield wipers as well. It's a good touch. The whole bumper is completely color matched, obviously. That's done. 2019 balance on the front, as well as 2019 mirrors. Gives the truck way more attitude up here up front. And then, what's some other shit we did, man? We just did a ton of stuff to this truck before this guy got it.
Ooh, the cluster, and fully cleaned the interior. Yeah,
the interior is absolutely mint. There's like a inch-long small separation in the driver's seat, but yeah, man, there's just so much. Obviously, the door handles are color matched and everything. It's got complete 5-inch tint all the way around. 5-inch tint, 5% tint, 35 on the windshield. So interior is super clean. With the partial Harley conversion, I didn't do the dash, obviously, but I also, oh yeah, duh, dude. So I also did just do a brand new Stage 4 Sasquatch Diesel Customs built transmission under there. You guys can see that. It's brand new. I just did that. I just put brand new 175/30 Holders premiums in it, and my new turbo company, which I haven't released to you guys yet who that is. It's a 67mm VGT, biggest exhaust housing on the market. It's the best drop-in all-around turbo, anything from stock to if you have 750 horsepower fuel. So this setup that's on here now is perfect for, you can hook up a trailer to this and tow 20,000 pounds if you wanted to. You can do anything damn near at this setup. So I also got a new dealer for as well. I got a no limit fab intake on here just recently. Let me pop the hood for you real quick, Chris. I got the no limit fab intake on there now.
You gotta be 10 foot to push this thing up.
Got the no limit fab intake on there now. Obviously, I gotta clean up the engine bay a little bit still. But as you guys can see, Sasquatch diesel built. I'm gonna start selling those stickers. I'm actually in the works of getting a legit plaque built for it, but for now, that's what we got. It's got a brand new alternator on it. Obviously, like I said, turbo's brand new. I just did an XTP full regulated return system on it. It had a hardline one. I just wasn't a huge fan of it, and it wasn't that it didn't work or didn't function. It was that for the next guy that gets this truck, I wanted it to be perfect for him. And I feel like hardlines, you know, run under the alternator, stuff's tight. It could possibly pinch or break or, you know, just crack a little bit. I just didn't want him to have to deal with that. I wanted him to have a perfect truck for however long he wanted it. So I went ahead and did a brand new XCP regulated return for this guy as well. Got a brand new radiator in it, brand new Mishimoto transmission oil cooler in it as well. It's just so much stuff, guys. Honestly, I can't even think about all of it as we speak. I mean, just the engine itself, you know, the stage 2 cam, the chromoly kill level push rods, the USA Johnson lifters, the kill level stage 2 heads with 100 PSI valve springs, all that stuff maybe got 6,000 miles on it, let alone the turbo and the injectors are brand new. Like, what do you think they have? 650 miles on them, maybe?
Yeah, 650 miles.
Like
a lot of them were test miles too.
Yeah, so I mean, I haven't even really driven the damn thing since I got this set up on it, and he hit me up and he wanted to know if I wanted to sell it, and now I want to sell it because I'm ready to, you know, get my own property and get a shop built and further grow the company. So this truck's got well over 100 grand into it, and I'm gonna have guys that are gonna say, you know, the price that I'm asking is too much for an 05, it's too much for this, too much for that, blah blah blah. And it's not because even necessarily the truck market's so high right now. Yes, that has a part in it for how much it's getting sold for, but it also has to do with the fact that people know my reputation. People know how meticulous we are on vehicles. You know, not only just 6 liters, but, you know, 6.7, 6.4s, Duramaxes, you know, gas vehicles that come in, whatever it is. We 100% put all that in and just make the best quality vehicle we can. A lot of times we even fix stuff that we don't get paid for just because we're there and we don't like the way it is. We don't want the customer to have another issue. So this truck is literally, I mean, damn near completely rebuilt besides the rods and pistons and crank. So, which it's got like 175,000 miles on it, original miles. It's not a high mileage truck. So, and it's been treated well. So it was bone stock until I got it. So, but that's kind of the rundown of what's been going on. Chris is videoing on my brand new phone I bought for the channel. I still have my other personal phone, so I got 2 phones. Big baller. But I say that as a joke because I'm a big baller, but like, I don't make a ton of money, man. I hustle to get what I got. And I just went out today and spent $1,500 on that phone and stuff because it has the cinematic, which I'm sure you guys are seeing right now, how I'm completely focused and everything behind me is blurry and I look sexy AF right now, like super hot.
Oh yeah.
And I went out and bought this phone because it's an empty phone. I got no videos on it. My storage isn't full like my other phone is, and I just constantly fight that. I got to delete videos to save my other videos. That's why it takes a lot longer sometimes to get a video out. So I went out and bought a brand spanking new phone, iPhone 13 Pro Max. Obviously I got the case for it, the protection, all that crap. And I'm gonna have the ability to take a bunch of videos and have them on one phone and be able to just make a freaking video in iMovie and save it that night and post it that night. I'm not gonna have to wait or delete 400 videos, try to save it, it won't save. Delete 300 more videos, try to save it, it won't save it. Like, I'm always fighting that. So not only that, I want you guys to be able to watch the best quality that you guys can watch. So it's like, I want you guys to be a part of us, you know, a part of Sasquatch Diesel Customs, a part of what we're doing. You know, me, Chris, and my dad, and whoever else is a part of this, you know. I want you guys to feel like you're involved. So that's why I want to put more videos out and I want to do more. And you guys need to hit me up in the comments. What do you guys want to see? You know, do you want to see me, you know, do X build on a truck or this? Or I mean, what do you guys want to see? I mean, even if it's like, hey, I want you to put drag slicks on your race truck and see if it'll hook, because it probably won't, but we can do that. That's cool. That's a good video. I'm thinking about doing that already. The only thing I'm not super interested in doing is like how-to videos. And you know what I mean? And I can give you like a general idea of like when I'm working on something, how to pull a turbo off or certain things like that. But you guys got to understand, for me, like, I don't want to sound like a dick, but for like my viewers that are local, I can't just show them how to fix their truck, or I lose business. And that's how all this runs. That's how I have YouTube. That's how I'm able to build these trucks. That's how I'm able to do all the things I do, is because of what we do here. So, and that might come off harsh, and you guys might hate me for that, to be honest. I probably shouldn't have said that, but I'm just being honest here, guys. You know, that's how it is for me. If I show you how to do everything on the truck, how am I ever going to make a living doing what I do if I just show you how to do it? It's like if a magician showed you all of his tricks, then he wouldn't have that edge on you. So it took him years to learn. So it's taken us hundreds of thousands of dollars on multiple trucks, this one included, to figure those things out. So I mean, this truck's had, just a little backstory. This is probably gonna be the entire video. It's just us talking about this truck. It's gonna be long, so I'm just talking. So bear with me. And if you are a part of this, you'll watch. If you're not, cool, man. You know, exit, don't listen. But the history of this truck for me, about 6 years ago, I went and purchased it. For $9,500. It had bad head gaskets. It was 100% stock, engine-wise, performance-wise, all that. It was on an 8-inch lift. Goose, can you go somewhere else, dude? It was on an 8-inch lift with some blown-out resi shocks on it and some bald 38s and some crappy plastic 20 by 10s. And the first thing I did was I saved up and I bought brand new heads for it. I did the coolant filtration system, obviously blue spring kit. What else did I do? I got 190/75 injectors for it. There's a few other things, but like just the general updates that I kind of read about at the time. And I mean, this is years ago. So 6 years ago, how long ago was that, Chris? 19.
Yep, 19.
25 now. So went and did all the things I thought, you know, were good or whatever, and I put it together. And honestly, the 190/75s in the stock 05 Plus turbo ripped. It was great, absolutely insane. Got 21 miles to the gallon. I could tow the moon and not see it over 1100 degrees, and it towed like a machine. And then me being me, I'm like, hey, I want more power. So I was like, all right, boom. Throw a KC Stage 2 on there. It added power. It was all right. I put an air dog on it at that point, the air dog 4G with that turbo. And it was faster. This is when I was on 37s. But after, I don't know, 4 or 5 months, I'm like, this ain't enough, because it kind of falls flat on its face when it gets up into higher miles per hour, because the VGTs just don't have good top end, especially the KCs. They just get really hot and don't produce well up top. So like, all right, screw it. So I pulled it all apart again. I pulled the turbo off, the injectors out, everything. I sent the injectors out, which are 190/75s. I had them turned into 190/30s so I could get some heat down for when I was towing. Put them back in. I put a non-VGT kit on it with a 364.5, just a SXE Borg turbo, and threw that setup on. Took it out for the first rip, ran good. Just kind of putzed it around. Took it out for the second rip, pinned on it, just blowing coolant out of the reservoir. And I'm like, what the heck? So I'm like, all right, well, that didn't work. Obviously, now I got bad head gaskets again. So I took it all back apart, cab off, heads off, everything. Sent the heads out, had them surfaced again, pressure checked and everything. put the 625 studs in there. I'm like, oh, I want this thing to hold down. I gotta get the big studs in there. Put the 625 studs in there. Same thing again. First drive out, fucking blew the head gaskets like 200 miles in, just cruising it around, getting it air out and everything. 200 miles in, blew the head gaskets. I'm like, what the hell, dude? So this is when I'm like, shit, I gotta get with the industry. I gotta start to know some guys. I gotta talk to some guys that really know what they're talking about. Because at this point, I've had so much bad information that I've spent like 35 grand already just messing up, basically. So then I call a couple of guys. I know a guy from 2.8 Diesel. He doesn't work there anymore, but he did. Paul still works there. If you're in Idaho, hit up 2.8 Diesel. They're the shit. But I hit up with my buddy Britton. We had talked. I don't know if it was Instagram or something, how we got connected, but we had talked. And he's like, no, you got to O-ring the heads with that much boost. I'm like, all right, cool. So then I pull it all back apart again and this is like, it sat for like a fucking year, if not longer. It might have been a year and a half. It sat for a long time. Because it sat for 8 months when the 364.5 blew the first time. I took it, then I waited, bought all those parts again. After 8 months, I put it all back together again with the 625s to the same setup. And then it blew up again, so it sat for another 8 or 9 months. So, I mean, it was a long time the truck was out of commission. So at this point, I built multiple trucks at the shop, me and my dad. This is before Chris was around. And we got to learn a lot more about them. We got to learn way more about torque specs for studs, which people don't really know about. The proper torque spec versus what they tell you is the correct torque spec. So at that point, I'm like, okay, 625 studs, obviously got those. I do KC Stage 2 O-ringed heads with 100 PSI valve springs, the Stage 2 cam, USA Johnson lifters, the chromoly push rods. I went ahead and jumped to a 369 SXE from Borg, and I did 205 100s from holders for injectors. And let me tell you, this thing fucking ripped. It had tons of power. On the 40s, it would just lay it down, just burn the tires down the road. And it was great, and I loved it. And then I'm like, all right, the 40s is getting kind of old because on the freeway, it's a freaking slug at 1,500 RPMs at 65. So I was like, all right, it's time to, drop the lift size again. Let's go back down to an 8-inch lift. I'll get some different tires for it. And what I ended up doing was, I ended up actually getting 375 40 24s, I think is what they were. The Nitto trail grapplers are like a 36.1 and they're 14.8 wide. So I can still run my 24 14s on a trail grappler, cover the sidewall completely, totally box square tire. So I did that.
I'd say daddy's money's funding the truck pretty damn well. The old 6-liter, my dad just bought me these wheels and tires yesterday. He built the motor for me, did all the work to it. I don't know how to do any of this shit, so daddy's money coming in clutch with the build on the 6.0. Oh, damn, it's nice to have a nice daddy.
I had my guy come out and write some files for it. We won't say anything else about whatever you want to call that. We write some files for it. We went out, we were test driving it. That morning, I put a brand new trans in it. Basically like a stock rebuild. I just did all the updates in the train that we do already, but I didn't do bigger clutches or anything like that. I did a bigger converter. I did a 2200 stall converter, and that was it. Bolted it back up. I'm like, I want to make sure this thing's good for when he's out here testing it. So we got to get this setup done right. So we go out, first pull, thing's a freaking animal. I'm like, damn, this is great. He's like, it didn't lock up in third. So I'm like, okay. So he tinkers around or whatever, and then next pull, just still fast as hell. Didn't lock up in third. I'm like, what the hell, dude? So we pull over and he messes with some stuff and does his thing. If he's watching, I'm sorry. This is true. Fucking nerd. So does his thing. Go out for the third pull. At a stoplight, take a left, pull out, and he just lays into it. And I'm talking the Speedo's just, it's fast for a truck on 37s, you know what I mean? So he's like, what? Bah, hits second, and he's like, what? Bah, hits third. He's like, oh, we got lockup, and it was like, bang, boom, 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 boom. When he let out, I was like, oh, shit. He's like, whoop, there goes your input shaft. And I'm like, fuck, dude. When your old built 6-liter destroys the input shaft and just explodes it. So you drive the old Toyota around. Good. Just got it back on the road, just did a new trans in it, just redid the engine, snapped the input shaft. So here we go again. Oh, by the way, if you're watching, Trevor Chase, him and his brother, were behind me when it blew up that night, and they flat towed me home to my house. So shout out to you guys for that. But anyways, then I'm like, shit. So it broke again, and I'm like, okay, I'm tired of this shit. Too much power. It's just getting to be way too much money, especially after all the different setups I'd already done and all the things I've been through. It also has a built low pressure oil pump as well. I forgot about that. I was like, I gotta drop the setup down. So that's when I started saving up again for another 6-8 months to put this setup on it that it has now. This is current day today, 2022, and people make mistakes, man. That's all I can say. Put another brand new trans in it when I had the tranny out, put a billet input shaft in it, put another brand new tranny in it just so I didn't have any issues. Actually, no, I didn't. It was the same tranny because it was already brand new. I pulled it back, pulled the converter out. Obviously had to dig the input shaft out of the little tranny. It was snapped clean. And then I put a billet input shaft in it, the converter back in it. This is at the house, so we don't have the same tranny jack here as we have at the house. Here we have a 6.0 tranny pan cut out as basically like a stem. So you sit the tranny in there and it can't rock or roll, or it's locked in where it's at. And the one at home is just this big junky old one. We haven't got one for the house yet, so it's just a big flat plate and it just wobbles all over the place. And when me and my buddy were putting it in, it tried to fall forward and I caught it and it was fine. I didn't think anything of it and I bolted it up in there and everything else. Well, come to find out, with that brand new tranny that I had just put in, when it fell forward, it slid out a click. So it clunked in 3 times and then it seated into the pump. It slid out a click. So put it all together and everything, drove it for 150, 200 miles, and then I get it back to the shop and it just starts it's just like dripping tranny fluid out the front of the housing, right where that plug goes, where your converter bolts and nuts are. And I was like, what the hell? So I was like, got up in there and I was like peeling it back with a screwdriver and just like flooded me with tranny fluid. I'm like, what the hell? Like, all right, so I pull it out again. We take it over to the tranny table over there, start tearing it apart. Well, I stacked a pump. So the converter wasn't engaged its third way, so it was just locked, just burning the shit out of the pump and the tranny. So I snapped the billet gear, or snapped the tranny gear in half. The whole pump was scored. It was just junk. And then the whole system on the truck, the transcooler, the radiator, the brand new tranny, everything was garbage because it was just full of aluminum everywhere. So now we come to the point where, like I just said, I have a brand new radiator, a brand new Mishimoto oil cooler, a brand new stage 4 transmission, fully new with a complete RevMax kit in it, billet input shaft, billet intermediate shaft, stage 3 converter. I mean, it's all 100% done now. I mean, that's like an $8,500 trans. So that was just done. And now we get to the point where we are today. And yesterday, or 2 days ago, was the first test drive since we did the gears and everything on it. I also did a new hub on it just because it looked like it might be a little worn. I did a new hub on one side, put everything back together, took it for its first test drive, and man, does it run fucking perfect. So for the first time ever, the truck runs awesome. Not first time ever, but it runs amazing. First time in a long time, probably 2 years. And it shifts great, it drives great, it's got incredible power, it runs clean, it doesn't fucking black out the road like all you idiots that just want to black smoke. Even Chris, you're the same way.
I might be smiling back here.
So now the truck is perfect. I went through 100%, went through everything. It's got drilled and slotted rotors on it, big brakes, pads, everything you could want. I mean, the truck is completed how I could have ever wanted it. And I'm at the point now where, with how expensive it is to live, man, I need to get property, I need to grow, I need to get my own shop. I'm not to separate from like this from here, but I need to get my own shop to build my own stuff on the side and do all that kind of stuff. So we just need more space. But like I said, man, the wheels and tires have, 500-600 miles on them. They're brand new. They were 12 grand for those 26s and 40s. So the amount of money spent, there was nothing spared. It's an incredibly clean truck. You can ask Chris, and Chris is not a bullshitter. If you know Chris, which you guys don't yet, because you've only seen the first video that I just posted of him being like, he's a new tech. He just came in, teaching him some stuff today. This is what, 4 months later now?
Yeah.
That's how far behind I'm on videos. It's 4 months later now. And,
slacking.
Yeah, I know. And he is incredible compared to that. He has learned so much and he's doing so great. But one thing I've learned about Chris, and my dad will attest to this, is that he is not a bullshitter. He will literally tell you exactly what he's thinking and what needs to be said straight to your face. He will not sugarcoat it. He won't make you feel better. He will just lie to you. He just won't ever lie to you. He just tells you how it is. Chris, is that an extremely clean truck?
It is a beautiful truck.
Are there any issues with that truck?
Not a single issue. We pulled out every kink in this truck. Whoever buys this bad boy is pretty lucky.
So, again, like I've always said, you know, if you guys don't like the price, I'm not going to be the guy that's, oh, you're broke, you don't like the price. If you don't like the price, that's fine. The guy doesn't buy it on Friday in a couple days. But I have put an incredible amount of hours and time into this thing, tons of money. And for the guys that are going to say, oh, you don't get what you put into them, sure, you're absolutely right, you don't. I'm not going to get, 120 grand that I have into this. But it's worth what I'm going to ask because everything's new. Everything is set up, it's new, literally front to back. I mean, the only thing that's not new is the bottom end of the motor, which it's got 177K on it. It's in great shape. And a tiny little tear in the driver's seat. That's about all that's wrong with the truck. So we'll see. Hopefully the guy picks it up and it'll be the end of an era, that's for sure. Because this truck has taught me a lot. I've spent a lot of money on this truck learning so that I could become a better tech and understand more about these trucks and learn different setups. I mean, half the reason why I was changing the setup every freaking 3 months is because I wanted to feel what that setup felt like or what this setup felt like, just to learn new things. So, but now I got it to where I want it, and it's time for it to leave, basically. So I need to move on. I have other plans for the next truck I want. No, I'm not going to be the guy that's going to go sell this, and I'm not going to go buy another truck to replace it. I'm going to save that money for property, and I'm just going to drive the trucks I have that I'm building and just rotate through them as I'm building them, and until I get to a point where I feel I'm comfortable and I deserve to get another truck. So I want to get enough money for property first, and once I get to that point, then I'll get the truck that I want. It's local here. The guy's not actively selling it, so I just went there and asked him one day, like, hey bro, you want to sell this at some point? He's like, I don't know what it's worth, but I guess. I'm like, all right, I'll be talking to you. So that's kind of where everything's at. I'm sure this is like a 30-minute video. I don't know how long it is. Do you have time on
We're
there?
sitting at 25.
Okay, that's long. Hopefully you guys stick around for that long.
You guys better like this guy.
There's a lot to talk about. So, but real quick, in the last couple seconds, I'm not going to ramble. I'm just going to try and give you an update of where we're at. Crew cab short box, I just showed you guys a video on. That thing is running and driving like you saw. I've got a video coming out soon of it, of what the updates of what we've done right now. And then we're about to start color matching it. It's going to be looking dope. This truck, we're about to paint the bed and then start color matching everything. We're going to sand and prep the whole frame, coat it all. And then a few more things to it, and it's ready to go. Chris's truck, we're going to slowly start doing little upgrades here and there. He's saving up some money right now for a fully built engine and heads and cam and freaking injectors and everything. So the race truck, I did get it running again, a standard cab short box. It's going to be getting built and sold as well. So if that's something you're interested in, you want to hit me up early, that's fine. I'm probably not going to have a price yet. I'll go into that truck a whole nother video because that's a whole lot of talking. Is that a pretty good update? My dad's truck, the 7.3, engine's ready to go in. We just got to get time to do that one. My old 6.7, now one of my dad's buddies, we're doing a 6-inch lift kit on it, 37s. So it's going to get done. You guys will see that on the video. But that's basically your guys' update on where I'm at, and I'm trying to be as 100% real as I can with you guys, so take that with a grain of salt if you kind of got upset with some of the things I said tonight. It's nothing toward anybody in specific, it's just reality and where I'm at and how I feel. So like I said, I just spent $1,500 on a phone for you guys that are watching this. So if you guys watch my videos, if you are someone that came across my videos, I am the 6.0 god. Not necessarily by the name, or I'm not being cocky, but like I build 6.0s. Like that's what I love to do. So if you like 6.0 content, you're in the right place. So hit that subscribe button. It's free. Like, comment, share, anything you guys have to say. I would really appreciate it. I finally got accepted into the YouTube Creators Program, so I can actually start making some money, which is, I'm not going to make money right away, but it's something, right? So I finally got accepted into it. I got enough subscribers now. Thank you all you guys that have been here from the start. Thank you to all my new subscribers that are here as well. I really appreciate you guys. Now is the time where I'm going to really push and bust my ass to get you guys constant content, to make it so you guys want to like it, share, subscribe, and so I can grow, I can get paid, I can do more to the trucks. That's how I do the trucks, is I have to save up, and to build them, to make videos, I have to have money. So I really appreciate you guys watching this. If you're still here in the very end, you're fucking awesome. I appreciate that. So like, share, and subscribe. Probably see the dirty red for one of the last couple times ever. And it's an end of an era for sure. It's definitely one of the baddest 6.0s in the world. I'll give him that. So have a good night, you guys.